welcome to the Monday, February 10th, 2025 Selectmen's Meeting. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first thing on our agenda today is public input, and I don't see anything from the public. We've got approval of minutes. We've got 3 sets to approve today. Minutes from December 30th, 2024, Board of Selectmen's meeting. I've read them, and I don't see any corrections that need to be made.
I didn't have any either.
I'll move we accept the minutes from December 30th.
1 second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
We've got minutes from January 21st, 2025, Board of Selectmen's work session. Same, they look good.
Yeah, I didn't have any.
I'll move we accept January 21st minutes.
2nd.
Any further discussion?
Aye.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And finally, Monday, January 27th, Selectmen's meeting. Good.
Also I'll move that we accept the minutes from Monday, January 27th, 2025.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, our appointments are not here. So move along to the consent calendar. In this week's consent calendar, we have a notice of appointment for Kristen Clark as an alternate library trustee, a right of burial for 2 town residents, an intent to cut on property in town, veterans exemption, another veterans exemption, a current use application, and a contract to provide utility revaluation services from Sanssouci Associates. And Sanssouci Associates is our current vendor for that purpose, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
So number 3, that's 2, is that 2 properties? 18 and 20? Just a,
It appears to be.
okay, I just wanted to make sure I'm reading that.
44-2-18.
Reading that correctly.
and 20.
I didn't get a chance to look at the current use application
Okay.
for Robert Murphy, but I moved signatures on all the other 6.
The motion's been made to, for signatures on 1 through 5 and 7.
Oh, second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
So,
Do you have that?
yeah,
Take a look. Right here. Thanks.
No, pass me that. Was Christopher already interred? Do you know?
I don't believe so.
So it's, they're looking for two
Yeah, they're just buying two lots.
Right, but then under it says full name of intended and turd, and you've got Francis, Lisa, and Christopher.
Yeah, those are the people that they're gonna put in
Right, there's 3 people
when
and
the time
they're
happens.
buying 2 spots, I'm just curious if
Yeah,
they
you
already
can,
have.
I'm not sure what the numbers are, but I noticed you can double up on
Cremations.
cremations, yes.
Oh yeah, one of them is a cremation.
All right.
So I'll make a motion that we accept the application for, or sign the application for, putting land in current use.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Skip over the action items for the moment and go to the correspondence. We have an email from Paige Stockman thanking the selectmen for the opportunity to bid. Tufton Borough Free Library, January report. Thank you card from the Kingswood Youth Center. A letter from the Department of Revenue noting median ratio for property rate of 79.6%. Letter from Dennis Gilmet, Library Director, regarding 2024 unspent town funds. And action items. We have the National Collaborative for Digital Equity wants to see if the town of Tuftonboro will participate in the New Hampshire Broadband Mapping Program. Please know that we only request your permission to access the E911 data collected by the Department of Safety.
What is inside data?
Well, there's a certain amount of grant money that's kicking around that, for unserved or underserved population with regard to the internet access.
Mhm.
And so they need to know who's underserved or unserved.
What does that have to do with E911?
That's the way they
Establish addresses.
establish addresses, right? Now they can establish with other data that they have connectivity.
And this is multiple years. I believe the town's participated before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see any issue with that. Of course, the questions that they sent us an email before and we haven't seen it, but.
As long as there's no liability to the town because of
Well, yeah,
privacy data.
yeah, take a look at that.
Yeah, I don't think your 911 address falls under privacy.
I wouldn't think so.
I think it does.
We have a quote from Scott Thompson to install a 100 amp 8-circuit panel at the, at Central Park.
Right. That's for Parks and Rec.
Mm-hmm.
Their budget has increased year over year by $1,500. What was the bid?
$3,600. It sounds reasonable for a new panel heating
Right.
installation. And where were we getting the money for this?
Well, I thought it was coming out of Parks and Rec.
And I threw out the idea of letting the association
Mm-hmm.
try to raise it.
Have we had any word from them?
As I wasn't able to make the January meeting, as I recall, there was interest expressed in considering it, yes.
Okay. Then I'm gonna suggest that we do not move on this until we establish a source of funding.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly didn't budget for it this year,
No,
so, I mean,
no, but if Parks and Rec has funds that can be used for this, or if
right,
your entity expresses an interest, I'd like to get that nailed down before we
right.
sign a contract that we don't have money for.
My feeling is that we, I'll go to the March meeting and introduce it again, now that we have the quote,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna go from there.
Okay. Roger, you would make sure that Jamie's loaded with information? Thank you. And we have a quote from Scott Thompson for putting an additional post light at the end of the walkway here, which I think we need, $1,200.
Jack said the lights that match it, we can't get a light that matches this one exactly. So Jack's been looking at the fixtures.
So do we replace the current fixture?
Yeah. Have two that match.
Have two that match? No,
The fixtures themselves aren't expensive.
no, $100 maybe,
Yeah.
something along those lines. Where would that come out of?
Government buildings.
We have building maintenance budget.
I'll make a motion, we agree to that and sign. Or accept the proposal.
I'll second. Any further discussion?
Where does the matching fixture fall in? Cause that would probably increase that a smidge.
That doesn't include fixtures at all.
Oh, it doesn't include fixtures. Okay.
Not included, light post and fixture.
Ah, okay. Then non-issue.
Yeah, this is for the labor and the wiring
Yep.
and,
So, yes, then discussion ended, by me anyway.
yeah. So it'll be the cost of a post and a fixture, which should be $200.
Yeah.
All set?
Hmm.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have something for Milfoil Committee. And I, Robert Murray, as chairman of the Tucking Borough Board of Selectmen, do here certify that 1, I'm the duly elected chairman. 2, at the meeting held on February 10th, 2025, the Board of Selectmen voted to accept the ES funds and to enter into contract with the Department of Environmental Services, which we haven't done yet. The Tufton Borough Board of Selectmen further authorized the chairman, Milfoil Control Committee, to execute any documents which may be necessary for this contract, and 4, the authorization has not been revoked, annulled, or amended in any manner whatsoever and remains in full force and effect as of the date hereof, and the following person, William Markison, has been appointed to and now occupies the office indicated in number 3 above as the chairman of the Milfoil Control Committee. Do I,
And the amount of the grant, Bob?
grant limitation, $13,258.
Well, I'll make a motion that we accept the
Right.
grant from the state of New Hampshire for milfoil eradication in the amount of
$258,
$13,258.
okay, and authorize me as the chairman of the Board of Selectmen to,
Sign.
You're authorizing
authorize
Bill
William Markison.
to sign.
Okay.
And who seconded that?
I seconded it. Well, I'm seconding it now. My tongue will join me later.
All in favor? All in favor.
Did they vote, did we do that
We
already?
didn't do that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And let's see, this is for accepting a grant agreement for the Department of Safety, for the Tufton Borough Police Department for the body worn cameras. So, I, Robert Murray, Chairman of the Board of Selectmen, would like to make a motion to approve the New Hampshire Department of Safety grant contingent upon passage of the 2025 warrant article for Police Department body worn cameras. The Select Board, in a majority vote, accepted the terms of the grant as presented in the amount of $16,532 for the purpose of reimbursement 50% of the costs to equip local law enforcement agencies with body worn cameras, as well as the ongoing costs of maintenance and storage of data recorded by body worn cameras. Furthermore, the board acknowledges that the total cost of this project will be $33,064, in which the town will be responsible for a 50% match, which is $16,532.
So we,
Motion's been made,
okay, we can second
second.
and
Discussion.
Discuss. So we need to change the numbers on the warrant to reflect this, cause currently the warrant reads $34,000. So it needs to read $33,064, with $16,532 coming from the state grant. And then we can revote that warrant,
Okay.
and tomorrow night when the budget committee votes, they'll vote on the real number.
What Chip said.
Okay. That it? Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sign and initial 2 pages. Do we wanna move, to change that number in the warrant? Do that right now?
Sure.
So I think the next,
You have to look at the warrant article for the police station too, so you could wait. Either one.
so the copy of the, are we gonna do the warrant? Is that what we're doing now?
Not yet,
Okay.
we'll get there. This one has to do with the, Union Wharf FEMA grant. So I, Robert Murray, Chairman of the Board of Selectmen, make a motion to approve the Union Wharf Road FEMA grant. The select board in a majority vote accept the terms of the Hazard Mitigation Program, HMPG, as presented in the amount of $782,365.50 for mitigating local infrastructure, which is the culvert. Furthermore, the board acknowledges that the total cost of this project will be $869,295, in which the town will be responsible for a 10% match, being $86,929.50. Motion's been made.
Okay, I'll second for discussion. So does this need to be on our warrant this year?
I think you could wait a year. I mean, I thought about that too last week. Do you wanna add it? Because it's up to you.
Well, does it affect the acceptance? I mean, we're gonna assign, let's assume for a second that we accept this grant.
Mm-hmm.
Does the acceptance require us to have the money put aside?
I don't believe so.
And when's the work slated?
The work isn't scheduled, but I think you have until the end of 27.
Good, well, it's nice that we're getting this grant, but I'm not feeling all squishy about, adding $87,000 to the warrant
This year.
This year.
this year.
Right.
As long as it doesn't mess up the grant, I'm happy with not doing it till next year. We're a little late in the game for
Mm.
sending that out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, no, we're gonna have the work done tomorrow night. Well, your motion's been made and seconded, I think what we can do is vote on that motion the way it stands, where we don't put the money away.
Do we need to reword the
And we've got
motion?
until 6 o'clock tomorrow night to.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the special provisions, and it doesn't say anything about that question.
Does it have a last date?
The sub-recipient agrees that the project grant period ends on April 2nd, 2026, and that a final performance and expenditure report will be sent to the state by May 2nd, 2026.
Yeah, that pretty much.
That's a pretty tight window.
Yep.
Yeah, so they may be thinking about doing that this year.
That. That's interesting. I mean, without this grant, the work doesn't get done.
Right.
I mean, I could hit the grant 26.
Well, that pretty much nails that down.
Well, I don't know, I mean, Bob, we're only $122,000 apart, I think, 24 to 25. We're not a long way apart.
No, but how much did our percent just go up as a result?
What's that? I'm sorry.
The change, year-over-year change.
Oh, I don't know, it's like 5% maybe, not even
I
that.
thought we were.
Well, it's only, the problem with the percentage is it's only on the operating budget, but you have to add the operating, subtract the revenue, and add the warrant. And when you look at that total, we've got it on our,
Right, we have that at the end of the warrant.
right,
When did this come in?
we've got
Not
it.
that long ago.
No, it was January.
We've got 737.
Completion date, April 2nd, 2026.
It's part of the 4 that you've been working on since prior to me getting
Yeah.
here.
So,
So you've been working on them since early 23.
Oh.
And I was wondering if there's an increased pressure on grants right now to close them.
that's where we're
Because
at.
if it's awarded,
That's actually where we're
then
at.
maybe it won't be canceled.
5,287,000.
Right.
So I'm
That's
expecting the
the
4th
operating
one to
budget
come in any
plus
day.
warrant articles less the
Revenue.
revenue. And 2020,
This is gonna change up all your numbers.
Yeah, it is.
that's what it is.
And if we don't vote to approve this, we're gonna lose it.
Yeah, I'm all set with approving it, but I'm only one vote.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So this copy of the 737 is true?
Hot off the press.
Done?
Yep. If
Okay.
it has today's date on the bottom left.
So. We don't have it. We don't have the 24 numbers. Alright. I don't have the 24 totals. I didn't have total the 24 numbers.
that one for?
Union Wharf.
Union Wharf.
What's the driver behind the work? Is it,
That's what?
what's the driver behind needing the work?
Flood control.
Well, what's there now, I guess is the question.
An undersized culvert.
Okay, so we're upsizing it for the 100-year flood kind of thing?
Well, we have had floods in that area in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So 475.
I don't know if the voters will make a choice then between Union Wharf and, Curtis. You have Curtis in here already.
Get initial, these four.
Are there numbers I can get you and then you can come back after Dennis?
Yeah, 78,000. So right now, we're $78,000 less than 24 in our operating budget, less revenues. And our warrant articles, I think, are
Pretty close.
pretty close, yeah. I forget how much close, but they're pretty close. So I'm not, I mean,
So
I
what do
don't
you
think,
say?
I don't think we're gonna be hard pressed to come up with $86,000 for that culvert. And I honestly don't think it's gonna come back. I mean, if we refuse it this year,
Mm-hmm.
and if it's gotta be done by next April,
Mm-hmm.
then that's kinda too late
Yeah.
to get the money together, because the town might say, work's all done, let somebody else pay for it. So I think this is our only opportunity to put out the $86,000.
Okay. Could I hear a motion?
I'll move that we accept the federal grant for the replacement of the culvert on Union Wharf for 800 and.
Well, actually, I already made the motion.
Yeah,
You did?
I
I think,
did.
yeah, I seconded it. for
And you
discussion.
seconded, okay,
All right.
so we've discussed. All those in favor?
Aye.
So you want me to add that warrant article?
Yeah.
You're gonna stop by tomorrow.
Well, we're gonna meet tomorrow night, so we can vote on it and do all that at the budget meeting. you'll need to redo your final page that you had done on the rates.
I don't think we have to discuss this tonight.
What is that?
The order of warrants and who's gonna be doing what.
Yeah, we
We-
usually do that on that enormously long,
The
Or
order
votes.
would be good, not necessarily who's
Voting
doing
day.
what, but for me to finalize,
You want the order?
the order.
yeah. Order the articles,
Alright,
but you don't have to do it right now.
no, let's come back to that. We'll get this signed, put back in the folder, tucked away, and Dennis can have his 5 minutes of fame.
It's a lot of, oh, sorry, Chip.
That's okay.
Dennis. Evening, sir.
How are you?
Very well, yourself?
Doing good?
Alright, how you doing?
We're just talking about you, Dennis.
Well, yeah,
Yep.
good, bad.
Indifferent.
Confused?
Well, the 5 minutes of fame starts because my wife's upstairs right now. Today's my 52nd wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so take her off for a nice
How's
sandwich
it going?
at a gas station or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway. 52 years, yeah. We did have our commission meeting last week. We had 3 potential people from the community that want to join our commission. And they were there, and they're gonna let us know, and hopefully they'll go through the process, because we are a little bit short. We did talk a little bit about the warrant article that's not going in. And a little disappointed about that, the thing you brought up about Wolfboro. It's too bad we gotta wait another year.
Yeah, it's kinda late in the process to
Yeah.
do that. It's gonna shake up everything. We do support the initiative, but it's kinda
Yeah.
late in the process to get that going.
Understood, yep. Dodgeball, good and bad, 30-something adults. Of course, we were snowed out last week. 6 years we've been running the kids, and we're always getting, 20, 30 kids. We've had 2 dates so far, and there's 6 kids both times, so. I don't know, I mean, talking to the school, a lot of times kids go home with backpacks, they don't, empty them out, or the parents don't check them with the flyers, so. At the commission meeting, we looked at other ways to get the word out. There's these email companies and stuff you can get into, and we're gonna get another sign. They were saying how a lot of people don't read the Granite State News, so we're looking into that, so anyway. Dodgeball, we need to get that back up there. If not, we're gonna switch over to the men's basketball. I did tentatively hire a beach monitor, one of the teachers at the school. She's interested in that job. The CPR AEDs, April 2nd, through the fire department. All the registrations go through here. Easter egg hunt on the 19th with Camp Sentinel, up at Camp Sentinel. The contracts for the concerts, bands, the 9 dates have gone out. The mailings are on my desk for the sponsorships. I actually got 2 different mailings. One for new sponsors. The commission gave me a whole list of people I wasn't hitting. and then a list of course, our regular ones that come through every year, so. If you know of anyone, certainly let me know on that. And like I say, last year we did go over our goal of paying for all the bands, so that was good. We are working with the PTCO. There's going to have a closed jamboree up at the townhouse on the same day as the Easter egg hunt on the 19th, where parents bring clothes that don't fit anymore and they're trying to swap and that type of thing. So we're going to try it out. We sent three of our local people to a 6-hour training down in Holderness last Wednesday. Fish and Game got a grant for promoting archery in the state, so they contacted us, and like I say, they went down for the whole day on training, and they give us all the equipment, all the bows, all the targets. So we're excited about that. It starts ages 10 up to adults. We're just kind of looking the best place to run that now. But they're going to come out the first day and help us out, and so I think that'll be a good thing. Youth gardening, again, we're in talks. I was with Sue Weeks. We're going to get together with Katie Small, the principal, and there's a few other people interested in just getting involved in this youth gardening program, so that looks good. Also, went ahead with Sue Weeks about the garden dedication. We're going to do that start the spring for what's his name, Bob? I can't think of his name.
Stockman, Bill
Yeah,
Stockman.
yeah,
Stockman.
yeah, Stockman, yeah.
Bill.
So that'll be coming out. We got offered to buy a tent from the Historical Society. I think it's at least, she didn't know the exact dimensions, but it's probably at least 20 by 40 for $100. So we're excited about that, so that's it.
Good. Now, before you put a tent up, just check with the fire chief.
Yeah,
There's a certain size that you need to have a permit and have fire extinguishers in.
oh,
I'm not sure
Oh,
what
I
that
didn't know
size
that.
is. 20 by 40 is probably gonna be under that size, but just check with him anyways.
yeah. Fire extinguishers, really?
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Excellent.
And the tents for Central Park or the beach? Or
I don't know. I mean, we get a good deal down with the rental company every year, and it's only like $260, but we put it up. So they haven't used it in 5 years.
That doesn't change. You still have to put the tent up.
Yeah.
Whether you rent it or you own it.
Well, that's what I told Jackie's the one that made the offer. I told her, I said, "When's your last use?" She said 5 years ago. So
Yeah.
we're gonna put it up, see if it's still. She said it's fine. All the poles are there.
And you're gonna store it up at the transfer station?
Yeah, yeah,
I got it.
yeah. So I mean, that'd be something the town could use for really anything. Again, so anyway, that's it.
So we have a proposal from Scott Thompson. Do you wanna talk to Dennis about that now?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we have a proposal for the electrical work at
Oh,
Central Park.
seriously?
Yeah, yeah. So we're just looking for a funding source.
Yeah,
Two potential sources. Number one, your budget,
yeah.
or we, Dave's,
Revolving?
Dave's working on a donation source,
Awesome. It's
So-
expensive.
$3,600.
It is to do it.
Plus, New Hampshire Cooperative, $350, right? Is that what it says at the bottom? Does not include the New Hampshire Electric,
So it's $4,000.
yeah.
So let's say through the concert sponsorships, all the money goes into the revolving fund, and we pay the bands out of that. If we happen to get real good response and go way over whatever it is, $5,000, can we use some of that?
I don't see any reason why not. It's a
We don't
revolving
get to decide that. Your
Oh,
committee
okay.
does.
Yeah, that's a revolving fund.
Sure, yeah,
That's yours.
yeah.
We have.
So that would be power right there on that pole.
There would be a separate pole, I think. Is there
It's a pedestal.
Yeah,
a pedestal? I'm sorry.
Install a wood pedestal, pressure treated,
yeah,
100 amp, 8 circuit main panel. Run underground PVC to the existing electrical panel near the current stone line swale. The pedestal will be roughly 35 feet away from the pole. All necessary connections
Yeah.
and ditch work. Ditch work is included in the price.
all right.
So his $3,600 plus whatever New Hampshire Electric Co-op's fee is, what'd you say, $350?
$350.
How much, 250?
$350.
So it'd be 39,
Yeah,
or 4
Yeah,
grand?
basically four.
54 grand.
Yeah,
Yep, so.
that'd be great.
uh,
All right,
Like I
thank
said,
you.
Dave's working on a source, and if he's unsuccessful there, then we'll come
Okay.
see you.
I think I can get back, the first, early next month
Yeah,
with a yay or nay on that.
that'd be great. That'd be awesome. All right, guys.
I have one thing, it wasn't, and it didn't be it wasn't a problem, but, I know Officer LaFave tried to open the electric box in the event they needed it for the
Yeah.
ice festival, and no one had keys to it,
Right.
so,
Oh,
That's a-
down at,
that's a long
down at
story.
19 Mile Bay.
yeah.
That's a long story, ain't got time to hear that.
But there should be, the town should have access to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they have generators, she just wanted to plug the generator in.
Plug a generator into what?
Oh, I'm not saying about her specifically, but the town should have access.
All I can tell you is that I hold grudges, okay? I'm sorry to say that. But she gave me $500 2 years ago at a concert for the bike trail. About 2 months later, I get an email from her saying she don't want that designer and she wants her money back if that designer stays on. And to me, that was just totally unprofessional, we went through the whole process of 2-3 years with this guy, and now she's telling us because $500 she wants it back. So that's why the electricity wasn't turned on.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry. That's you think it was okay for her to write that email to me about that? Was that okay?
It's a separate topic.
Yeah. Well, I'm not changing.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. We're on the highway. He's on vacation, right?
He is.
Still? I thought he
Yeah.
left 2 weeks ago.
Almost.
Yeah.
And
I mean, just for the record, if we're gonna be on the highway, I got phone calls on Sunday after the snow had stopped falling that Phineas Gray's Road hadn't been plowed, William Road hadn't been plowed. There was another road closer to Melbourne that hadn't been plowed at all. So the way we used to do it, and I haven't done it, I haven't talked to Jim about it, but there used to be private contracts that did small roads. And so, some guy with a F-250
Pickup,
or an
yeah.
F-350 gets to do a town road and gets paid from the town. And that's the way Reg Colby ran it, that's the way Snuffy Smith ran it, that's just the way it was. And it gave some income to the local guys and
Yep.
kept our costs at a reasonable place and plowed the roads out. And it's not a great time to go on vacation, but he's elected, I guess he doesn't answer to us, but we're gonna get another snowstorm on Thursday.
but we still need the roads plowed timely.
And they're gonna need to get plowed again. I drove over Phineas Gray's Road, which is now a one-lane road with none of the snow plow pushed back, or snowbanks pushed back. So we need to talk to him about the little roads, as well as the big ones. Yeah,
Do you know when the next time is he's gonna be in?
No.
Okay.
well, let's keep this slot open for him. Put him on every single week, or every meeting, till he shows up. I mean, cause we have a number of different topics we need to discuss with him, and if we have to wait till April to get to it, it's,
I also had someone approach me that, not this past storm, but a couple of the smaller storms that we've had recently, they've been driving the 10-wheeler around without the wing.
no, I'm sure.
So if you're driving without the wing, it takes twice as long to plow, and you don't
And you don't push the back.
push back the snow.
Yeah.
So put them on the docket for 2 weeks from now, please.
Yeah, and I don't have, and we should have who to contact. I'm sure Cammy does, but who do we contact when he's not here?
Right, his number two, someone's gotta be in charge.
Yeah.
His deputy, so to speak. It's not official, but we should have somebody.
Well, it's either that or he has to stay here all the time.
Right. Can't go on vacation, as simple as that. No vacation for you. All right, I assume Jack isn't coming tonight?
But
I
Okay.
assume not either.
All right, so we'll catch up with him. That brings us to,
action items?
no, we did the action items.
We did correspondence, we did consent calendar.
Yeah, we did everything. Town administrator and selectmen's updates.
Warrant articles,
6, 7, 8.
what?
Action items 6, 7, 8.
Action items.
Warrant articles, police station discussion, and culvert project discussion. I think we did the culvert project discussion.
We did the milfoil grant. And, all right, warrant article language. Okay. 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Can do that now.
So you want me to change number 3 to reflect the amount of the grant?
And the total cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they in the same order in here as they are in here?
No.
Okay.
So use this one if you have it.
Use this?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one that says draft all over the front.
It does say draft all over the front. Do that one, Dave?
I don't have that one.
Okay.
At least I don't think, I may be wrong. I don't remember seeing it.
Any copies?
Yes, please.
So 1, 2, 3.
Okay, you have multiple copies, Chet.
Yeah, I don't throw anything away. 4, 5.
So you're gonna create a warrant article for, the,
Union Wharf.
Union Wharf Road culvert. That should be right next to the, Curtis Road drainage article.
Okay.
I don't think it matters what side.
And you'll vote on that one tomorrow. And the new language for the cameras tomorrow.
Yeah, it's just new amounts, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and then, you have to vote on the police station.
On what?
The
The-
petition warrant article for the police facility,
Whether we support it or not.
if you,
Oh, we just whether we support it.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you wanna do that first, or do you wanna discuss any changes of order?
We don't have the sheet yet for order. Thank you.
See, I have too many copies, so I didn't get another one.
Do you want another one?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So what I had done with the order is, based on all of your discussions, I had put ones that I considered, from your language, important, then the operating budget, and then the capital reserves. So the police station can go anywhere in there.
The petition warrant. article.
Yeah.
That's gonna take up a lot of time.
Oh, no, I have the police station in right before the contingency fund.
Yeah, I see that, you got it number 15.
So I know traditionally you've always had the operating budget last.
Mhm. Yeah, why would you put it in the middle?
Because if there's changes, if the budget committee does not approve the police station, then changes like the townspeople approving the police station can only change the whole budget by 10%. And that would come off of the last warrant articles approved.
Yeah, I don't know that we're that close to the 10% number though, at 500,000.
And now you're gonna add another 80,000.
Right.
90.
Well, again, that's added to our side of the ledger, not to the,
87.
in other words, if we add another $86,000 to the
Mhm,
warrant that we
right.
vote on, then that just increases the
And
total.
so you're depending on the budget committee to also approve Union Wharf Road.
They're gonna,
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't.
that's gonna flat out the lead balloon.
Well, it's simple, we explained the same thing to them that we talked about tonight.
Yeah.
It just came across, it just came hot off the press,
Mhm.
and if we don't accept it, we lose it.
Right.
Simple as that.
We could ask for an extension on it, but it would be better to have it,
Well, I'd like to
Constructed.
have the approval in our back pocket before we ask for an extension.
yeah,
Well, and they may have to ask for an extension due to any number of reasons.
right.
If we've already asked for one, now they want another extension, that
Right.
becomes problematic.
So are you suggesting that this is the order that you want them to go in?
That was my suggestion. But I know there's lots of opinions in this town. At this table.
I listen to reason. Always listen to reason.
Nope.
Comment?
Well, I don't think there's a risk, but if, and not thinking there's a risk means I think we should just leave it the way it always has been done, but this motivation to change things is always with us, so maybe this will assuage that.
We don't have to change it. I'm okay.
I mean, I just don't know if it's gonna confuse the voters. We put it first. You know,
What?
it's the operating budget that the budget committee proposes. And, I mean, it either needs to be first or last, it can't be in the middle.
I agree. First or last. Well, the petition warrant article should be last,
Right, cause we didn't,
because we didn't send it.
Yeah.
So you do want the police station last?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do,
All right. And then right before that, you want your operating budget.
yeah.
Where do you want the contingency fund?
Right before the operating budget.
yeah.
And then everything else, I'm okay with the order of everything else.
Yeah, it's fine. Are we putting the two culvert jobs together?
We should.
Okay.
Curtis Road seems like nothing now compared to this.
Okay, so are you gonna vote on the petition warrant article?
We should we?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, we should vote on
Yes,
it.
please.
I'll make a motion that we recommend the petition warrant article.
I'll second for discussion. Thoughts? I'll start. I support the petition warrant article and the fact that it's a citizens' initiative. I wanna make it clear that this is not our initiative. This is a citizens' initiative, and people are under they recognize that since COVID, we've had a very, very difficult time getting this done, getting it to completion. And it's clear, through multiple attempts that we simply don't have enough money, or we haven't found the right contractor to do it for the money that we have. So, if the citizens wish to put this initiative forward and ask for, money from the fellow citizens, I support that initiative and I will vote yes. However, this does have implications. Another $500,000 is something that that us and the budget committee is gonna have to work out in the operating budget next year.
Why?
Is it not?
No.
Is it, or,
That's a warrant article.
that's a warrant article, excuse me.
Right, so maybe you don't do a $500,000 paving warrant article, maybe you do a $300,000 paving warrant article.
Yep.
And you don't do two federal culvert jobs, you do one or none. You know, you can come up with $500,000 to balance this pretty simply.
It is gonna have an impact on the tax rate,
I think it was 27 cents.
Well, let's
27
take-
cents.
And can we do the police first before we
Yeah.
get to the tax rate? Because the language on the last sheet needs to be a lot less final. It's not a 22.7 cent increase in the taxes. It is an estimate of what the impact might be. You can't, we know what the taxes are gonna be in June. We have no idea what they're gonna be in December. That's gonna be based on the action of all of this budget. So, we need to estimate it, we're not, you know, it's half a cent for this and 2.5 cents for that, but those are all estimates. If nothing changed, or if nothing good happened. We may get more money for the highway block grant, you never know. We may find other revenue sources that are happening.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
No?
To add to
I
the
mean, I don't
discussion?
think, I don't think it's gonna be, negative that if we support it. I don't think there's gonna be enough support in the budget committee. So it's gonna look like a big split decision no matter what we do as three individuals.
Like I said, it's a citizens initiative, and, you know, I support a citizens initiative to put in a petition warrant article. Dave? Thoughts?
It's a big jump. But if we don't do it, it's just gonna keep getting worse. In other words,
Could?
it just won't, we won't get it complete this year. And it's not like the costs are going down. The risk is that we run the risk of starting from scratch. We already redid the plans once
To make the building smaller?
to make the building smaller. Clearly, so one of two things happened. Either the bids that we got were egregiously overpriced, or that's the price, and, you know, there's nothing we can do about it. So we let the town vote on it. So yes, I agree. And we should put it forth. I'm sorry, I was talking through
Mm-hmm, well,
the process.
So if all three of us said no, we're not gonna recommend it, and all of the budget committee said no, they're not gonna recommend it, it's still gonna be there on the warrant to be
Right.
voted on.
Right. Right, and what we're saying here is we, as a group, voted X.
Yeah,
That's all we're doing.
and we need the money. If we're ever gonna have a police station.
Right.
You ready those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Is there any language in the descriptions you wanna change?
Article 12,
Can you say the name, so we're, the operating budget?
operating budget.
Yep,
You've got some ands that need to come out. And you also say at the end of the written dollar amount, 91 cents, but in the parentheses, the numerical, it shows 00.
Yeah, I'm in favor of getting rid of all pennies
yep,
on all warrant articles. I mean, I'd rather round the federal culvert job up $1 than I would pennies.
And, let's see, Article 10. Article 10 is the Curtis Road drainage. There's some ands that need to come out of that too. And so these are just grammatical corrections,
Mhm.
not substance.
Article 2, description, the police replace vehicles. Just remove that.
mhm, yep.
Remove what?
The police, in the description, the
Mhm.
police replaces vehicles, should be replace vehicles. Do we capitalize police?
We do.
And the same thing on the description. Previously established police vehicle expendable trust on an annual basis allows the rotation of vehicles. Didn't we talk about correcting that to
Do you have
replace
the
it?
latest and greatest, Bob?
Huh?
Do you have the latest and greatest?
I don't know. You tell
It
me.
was,
This-
it was
this-
in the email,
This is what was in my folder.
okay.
Then yes.
I think otherwise I'm all set.
Do we need to re-vote on the body cameras?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept warrant article, I think that's number 3, is it not?
Yep, police body worn cameras, yep.
As corrected to a cost of $33,500 with a 50% grant from the state of New Hampshire. The total coming from taxes at 16 something.
The actual number was what, 34, 5?
No. 33, I thought,
Oh, yeah, you're right, I'm sorry.
the one that we had today for the grant.
The number's in there, we just need to.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Go ahead.
I'm just trying to find the right
Let's,
amount.
yeah, let's just get the right number.
The earlier motion was for $16,532 for the grant.
Got it. Which is 50% of $33,064.
There we go.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we didn't,
So, actually, sorry.
no, it's okay. So we did sign the Central Park one because we don't have a funding source yet.
Right.
The body worn cameras, in the article, it's written as appropriating 34,000.
Right, so that'll change.
That, the number changes, right? But
Yeah,
are we actually putting in verbiage as to half of it, the
mhm,
half and half part?
right, yeah,
Okay,
mhm,
cause that's not in there yet.
correct.
Okay, that's
Right,
coming.
It has to be changed,
Okay, that's.
because we're accepting a grant, which is that much less taxation.
Right, right.
Right, so now your culvert only costs you $70,000.
We save money, imagine that. All right, so we're all set with that, the warrant article language, police station discussion, how to proceed.
Yeah, the, first on warrant articles, the budget committee wants to meet here at 6 and then adjourn and go over to the townhouse because he wants to have the police department discussion amongst themselves, even though it's public here or there. So the budget committee's gonna meet here first and then go over there,
And are they gonna vote on anything here?
the police station. And now they'll also have an additional warrant article and a review of a warrant article. A review of the body worn cameras and then the culvert. I didn't talk,
Can I make a motion before we start this? I'm gonna make a motion that we reject all 3 bids that we received for the police station a week ago. Or 2 weeks ago.
All 4?
4, is there 4?
Second for discussion, I didn't see the fourth one. I only saw
I
3.
think there are 3.
I thought there were only 3, but.
Yeah, there's 4 listed in the.
Yeah,
I
there
can
was 4.
reword my motion to say all bids received on January, whatever, 22nd.
Second for discussion. Swain?
You can't go forward with any of them, even if you get the $500,000. Because the low bidder, and we're not obligated to take the low bid. The low bidder doesn't include any of the internal needs, the furniture and fixtures. Verbal assurances from a local bidder doesn't work unless we reopen this whole thing and do it differently. And we have to announce that we're doing it differently. So we put this thing out for bid 3 times and been floored by the numbers 3 times. So we now have certain assurances from our Department of, what is that?
USDA.
USDA, that the grant is still active if we wanna use it. We've got a list of the paperwork that's involved in satisfying the grant requirements, which is 2 pages, double spaced, so it's not really onerous. We need to make a contract with whoever we do business with that it stipulates how their bills read. So if they don't do the filing reports, we can do them. We don't have to create something that doesn't exist. So it's, man hours, labor, materials, all of the usual stuff, not just a bottom line. But I don't think we can go forward unless we end the program that we just went through, which is that bidding process.
No, we can't, we have to choose one of them.
We can't choose one of them, well, we don't have to choose one, we can choose one of them premised on some modification to their bid.
No, because that would be unfair to the rest of the bidders.
Right,
However, if we reject all of the bids,
right.
then we have, and since we put it out to bid numerous times already, unsuccessfully, we now have fulfilled our obligation to put it out to bid, and we can negotiate privately if we so desire.
Yeah, at least
Is that what
we've
you're
got a
trying to say?
well, theoretically, the bidding process gives you the market rate. So as long as you're below the market rate, then I don't think there's any issues at all. And we can't meet the market rate because we don't have enough money. So whatever we do, if we go forward, is gonna be below the market rate established in 23 and 24 and now 25. So yeah, I just think we need to get rid of the bidders. Then you can get into private discussions with one bidder or another. I had Jack send the plans off to a contractor right now in Conway. We need to have discussions with people that we know. Maybe we manage the process. You know, we call Grant Thompson, get the cement work done, we call, I don't know, Steve Hunter and get the earthwork done.
Mhm.
You know, we call Maine's Electric and get the power done. You know, maybe we have to do it incrementally like that. But I think if we, as I said, I think if we stay below the current, or all of the bidding that we've seen, we're satisfying anybody's question about whether or not we're below market rate.
Okay,
That's where I'm coming from.
I would agree with that. How about you, Dave?
With the $500,000 that is being proposed by the petition, where does that put us for a final number between the grant and what we have already approved?
2.2,
2.2? That's
Okay.
kind of where I was thinking.
2.2 and a bit, maybe.
Okay. So we would be, let's for the sake of argument say that the petition gets approved. We've topped out our budget at 2.2, and your thought, these are clarifying questions.
Talking it through.
You're proposing essentially to kind of go one by one to each contractor, through each part of the contract, and
Well, that's one way to do it. You know, we may find that there's somebody who wants to do the whole job at the money, for the money we have, or maybe a little less. But we've been constrained by the bidding process, you know.
right. No, I understand that.
So if we're not gonna do the bidding process, and I don't think we have to, then we're free to go out onto the street and,
If for the purpose of the motion, I agree in the sense that we can't go forward with the current.
well, even with the $500,000, we can't go forward with those three.
That's what I'm saying.
Cause none of them satisfy the contract
Right.
for the number.
So for the purpose of the motion, I can move forward with that.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So moving forward, we have the ability to negotiate now,
Right.
but we can frankly, even if this, petition warrant article does not pass, we still have the ability to negotiate,
Absolutely.
just with that much less money, that's all.
Right.
And the fact that it's sorely under,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would be hard pressed to believe that any one of those bids, given the rates that they were looking for, or the amounts that they were looking for, would move forward with the money that we have.
This is a technical question, as far as the grant is concerned. They require that we spend all of our money first, before they give us the $300 and
Right.
whatever $1,000 it is. If this $500,000 petition warrant article passes, and we are able to negotiate, building this thing without the grant, the amount of the grant, that means that we don't get the money for the grant. We're using entirely taxpayer money. So it would have to exceed what we have in the bank, plus,
The taxpayers already paid that money, the 300,000 or whatever it is. That doesn't come from outer space, Bob.
the grant,
Right.
right,
That's money we've already paid.
through federal taxes, whatever.
I
Yes,
mean,
it's not,
just,
it's not free money,
right, it's like the culvert.
right.
We already paid for that culvert through our income taxes. I mean, maybe some people paid more than others, but it was paid for by the local
Mhm.
taxpayers. But you're right, they're the last money spent.
But you've got direct taxpayer impact versus,
They're the last money spent. That's the deal. If we don't spend it, I mean, although we're being recorded, and I guess they could probably watch YouTube just like anybody else, but it may be the difference between how we furnish the police department, what sort of internal equipment gets put in the police department, and I'm just talking theoretically, that we don't have to shortchange anything at the end of the process. I mean, landscaping, any number of things, that striping of the paving, of the parking lot. There are a number of expenses that won't come up to $300,000 or $380,000, but could impact that government grant money, that federal grant money. And it may be that we need all of it just to make the project happen.
okay. Alright,
And I think, just to finish off my theory about how we go forward, I know there's been outside discussions with at least one of the bidders. All of the elements of the project are on the table. So we're no longer, and from my perspective, and I hope it's from your perspective as well, we're no longer looking at a total package for a total sum of money. We're looking at all the elements in the package, because that's the only way we're gonna have to be able to manage this. So there was one bidder that had $10,000 for an office trailer on his bid. That line gets blocked out if that's the position they're gonna take, because there's no way in the world an office trailer costs you $10,000 to rent for 9 months or even a year. Things like that. I mean, you know more about plumbing than I'll ever know. But when we get a plumbing part in, we should be looking at some good industrial plumbing contractors for a number. I mean, a lot of that, I mean, I look at the dirt work because I know how that works, and I saw, you know, $100,000 sitting on the table just waiting for me to pick it up if I wasn't a selectman. We can't allow that excess profit to happen. I'm all for these guys making profit, I'm not against profit, but we're not gonna reap the taxpayers to get a police department.
no,
And I think we can make it happen.
no, they're not gonna retire off of us.
Or buy a condo in Florida or wherever they wanna do. I think there's,
So who's gonna manage it though? I mean, realistically.
well, we're gonna manage it, and Jack, we're gonna have to. That's the only way it works. I mean, we're gonna have to look at what their proposals are, see if, and also whatever contacts we have for getting other proposals for portions of the work. I mean, we may talk to a builder, and those, two of those current bidders, or most recently post bidders, were carpenter bidding. I mean, they're not in the cement business, they're not in the plumbing business, they're not in the electrical business, they're in the building business. And they were gonna sub out, so they're doing a lot of estimating then. So now, not only are you adding profit for the electrician, you're adding profit for the GC, because he's marking up the electrician's money. So we may find ourselves looking at separate contracts for major parts. And then somebody gets to put the sticks up, and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's like insulation, they're not gonna insulate, they're gonna hire
Right, Superior. or
Superior
quality
or somebody to come in and insulate it.
Exactly.
And mark it up. So that's what we're into at this point in time. How much of the markup do we wanna control?
That sounds like a lot of work.
Well, it'll be, definitely, it's gonna be more work on our part, absolutely, but, we have the potential to save a ton of money too.
Don't disagree.
All right,
The other thing I gave you was, the tax credit. I met with DRA this morning for the assessment, the revaluation that's coming up. And they will, there'll be a letter that we send to all property owners, and then DRA themselves actually look at about 70 of the properties, and they'll send postcards to those properties that they'll be visiting. And while she was here, she gave me,
So there's not gonna be a physical assessment on each property?
I don't think on each property.
The vast majority of the properties will be based on market analysis or some other.
Unless somebody's built a shed or an addition or something like that, and it needs to be
Right, they
physically
talked about
verified.
sales, and then they used the phrase measure and list. I don't know exactly what that phrase means.
Measure and list?
Yeah,
Well, that's what our assessor's supposed to do.
right, so that's what he's doing, and he was here this
But
morning.
he's only gonna do 70 properties?
No, then DRA goes out
Oh,
and,
okay.
and does
Yeah,
a
I'm sorry.
test,
I'm
right?
sorry.
Yeah, so,
So they're just testing his figures.
right. And then they confirmed that San Souci would be doing the utilities, and I said that was coming before you tonight.
Mhm.
Okay, and then she handed me the credits, and I don't know if you have looked at elderly exemptions in a while, but you're significantly lower than your neighbors.
Our most proximate neighbors. But if you look at the whole county, and I actually did the count. So on elderly 65 to 74, we're 9th out of 18. On exemption 75 to 79, we're 12th out of 18. No, there are 12 towns lower than us, so yeah, 12 out of 18. On elderly exemption 80 plus, we're 13 out of 18. On married asset limits, we're 8 out of 18. So we're pretty much in the middle. I know your argument about the two $50,000 cars, but I'm not certain we can accommodate that. I mean, your suggestion was we push the elderly exemption up to 50,000?
I thought you may want to consider the asset limit, because 52,000 is relatively low for assets. It doesn't include the house, so,
Right. But
you know, it's too late really to get it onto the warrant. But although budget doesn't go over this tomorrow, right?
I'm not certain they have
No.
a dog in this fight. I
Yeah.
think we said that.
So when I think about it, I think about the woman who comes in here, she's single, she gets $2,000 a month, and she's got a small mortgage, paying her taxes, buying groceries, and she can't pay for her septic to get pumped.
She doesn't have children.
No,
She's over 65.
yeah,
So
so,
you're talking about a limited income,
right, she can only make 24,000 a year.
50, where's that number? Oh, single income limit.
Right.
How much are we, how much of a tax exemption are we giving currently in dollar figures?
Right now, on a $400,000 home, it would be about $150.
Well, they don't get a tax. If they got a $400,000 home, they've got too much asset.
No, the house doesn't include the asset, so,
Okay. It's everything but the house?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, it's,
But how much are we currently giving? I mean.
I don't know, because this just came today and Jackie's not here, so I don't know all our. But I know that people who come in are not making very much. when
But
they
you
come.
also have home values that have skyrocketed
Right,
in the last few years, and
So even though you say taxes went
I know
down,
tax rate went down, valuations went up, but everybody's taxes have, I don't wanna say
stayed pretty
everybody's-
flat,
I don't wanna say everybody's taxes have gone up, some have gone up, some have gone down.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the reason people live here is because the tax rate's so low.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a $400,000 house here costs you 1/10 as much as it does in
And we're what, the
Norfolk,
fifth, sixth lowest tax rate in the state?
something like that. I mean, I think.
I'm not necessarily recommending anything, but I think the discussion should be had every year or two.
Right, but I think what we need to know is how many people take advantage of
Mhm.
this. And who participates in setting it. Is this rate set by the selectmen,
Yes,
not a budget committee?
No.
Confab,
no,
okay. So then we'd need to know, yeah, if we know how many people take advantage of it, and then you just put a fudge factor in for how many people probably just over the wire. Cause now you got a tax impact, how much less tax revenue are you gonna take in?
Right.
So if you're taking in less tax revenue, then your rate goes up. But I don't think you're looking at a lot. And we're not changing anything with the veterans, are we? Or,
No, we've already maxed that out,
right,
we did that last year.
so. Yeah, if Jackie could give you
all right.
the number, and also the number of veterans getting the tax exemption.
And they did ask specifically if you've considered a solar exemption. And Rod said there weren't that many solar in
I
town.
know that we did 5 years ago, look at that when this started, when we were able to do this. And there just wasn't enough, you know, solar capacity that was being put up.
I'll throw out my 2 cents, and I don't think we should be, as a town, should be offering a solar exemption. There's enough rebates out there from the power companies, from the feds, giving tax breaks.
Right.
I don't think the citizens of the town should be.
Yeah, I think that we have to make sure though that that solar installation isn't adding to the taxable rate on their house. So if you
Right.
put up I don't know, $15,000 solar array on your
Ah.
house, does our assessor go in and is that an added feature of the house, so you're paying more taxes because you did that?
Yeah, but I don't think.
But what if it is? I mean,
I don't think solar is affecting resale value of people's houses, from what I'm hearing in the street. Every time somebody talks about solar and resale, it's a non-issue,
Yeah.
especially when people take out,
why would you
financing for their solar system.
Why would you install it? If it doesn't increase the price of your house,
It pays for your electricity, that's why.
Well, I think let's talk to our assessor before we say it doesn't increase the value of the house. But that's what the motivation is for these credits, is to
Mhm.
stabilize, so you're not paying twice. Okay, you paid to have the thing put in, and now you're paying twice. We don't make them pay for windows. If you replace the windows in your house, you don't get taxed
No.
additional money,
No,
you just have new windows.
but I don't think the citizens of town, of Tufton Borough, should be subsidizing their neighbors' solar installation.
No, that's not a question for us. This would have to go to the town. This isn't something we're just gonna make up.
Yeah, but I can vote no on it, whether I think it should go.
You can vote no, Bob, at any juncture except for town meeting, at which point your vote has to reflect how you voted
Mhm.
here. And to be honest, I mean, there were just as many rebates when we talked about this 5 years ago. And it didn't fly for the selectmen, for all of the reasons you state, plus others. I just haven't got a feeling for how it has impacted. I mean, you say it doesn't impact the value of a house. It may,
It may, I may be
and
wrong.
maybe you paid $15,000 for a solar installation, and all of a sudden, the tax assessor's saying it adds $30,000 to your value. Now you're paying a penalty for putting solar on your house, if you're not interested in selling it.
Mhm.
So I don't think we have figures enough, or information enough to make a decision. So,
Chip, what were you talking about earlier about the tax rate on the warrant articles?
Oh, where's your last page? I had it in my head here.
Yeah, it was the wording about these being estimates
Yeah,
more than anything.
This one,
yeah.
that page, okay.
Yeah, so the numbers, so those numbers have to change because we just
Right,
added
right, right.
$86,000. The rate of increase is 7.5 is the rate of budgetary increase, not the tax increase. The tax rate has to read estimated increase per thousand of 15 cents,
The impact,
right under impact
Okay, right on it.
here. This
Okay.
is the actual tax rate
Yeah.
that we're charging. So the estimate, this is an estimated
Okay,
tax rate that's coming up. And this does not include the $500,000. Yeah, and it's not 90 cents a thousand.
yeah, that last statement confuses me. Maybe I'm just not reading it right.
Oh, cause I don't think they need to know that. I think that's something we need to transmit from the floor.
I didn't know if they got this page at all, I don't think so.
Well, I think David brought it up. He wants this page to be public information. The tax impact.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's
fine.
why
I mean, so-
I
so-
did it on each warrant article.
I mean, we're not obligated to do any of this, right?
Right,
So we can say, I want it on all of the pieces, but we don't put it on the bottom.
but we wanna have that information. Yeah, we don't have to. But that last page that we've been talking about, we need to have that with us at town meeting. Right.
Okay, and I have to update it. Okay.
Cause that question's gonna come up, you know, you guys are robbing the fund balance, you know, irrationally, so we need to be able to glibly say this, if you don't do it that way, this is the impact on your taxes. Or we have to learn to say estimated, cause we don't know what the impact's really gonna be in October.
Until DRA gets through with us.
What's that?
Until DRA gets through with us.
We have a little bit of latitude.
Okay, and I talked to, or I corresponded with the FEMA people on the multiple culvert grants. And we had posted, the engineering bids that you opened last week for Sodom and Union Wharf. And I asked them, do you have that for Canaan? Because when I flipped back through our accounts payable at Salmon Press, we hadn't posted it, and they said, no, you should post that as well. So I'm gonna post it, and I'm going to notify the 3 engineering companies that their quals will still, they don't need to resubmit them, they can just send me a letter saying our quals stand. After town meeting, I think you need to have a work session on the 3 engineering firms and decide which one.
I
Who-
thought we did decide that, but maybe we didn't.
I don't
vote
think
on
we
it.
did.
Mm-mm.
Didn't vote
I
on
don't think we
it.
So-
Cause we used 2 of them
Right, that's what you talked about.
pretty consistently, so
Yeah,
do we want,
I think we should do a work session.
good,
And then, also include in that work session, the police station. And you've been, harping on having a daytime meeting.
I have,
So if you did a work session that's a daytime meeting, it could potentially overlap with the assessor also, and you could meet him and ask questions about the whole reval process and exemptions and solar. So you wanna do that after town meeting?
I can't do a daytime meeting on a Monday.
right, we're not obligated to meet on Monday.
No, we've just
We
been doing it.
choose it.
We've been doing it for
The,
convenience.
part of the reason I'm harping is, well, given the activity of the budget committee and also other activities, we're gonna exceed her budget significantly this year if they continue. And a lot of it is worked up into overtime. This one, our administrator does a lot of comp timing, which is nice, cause it doesn't cost you any money. Doesn't get the work done. She does get a lot of the work done, probably majority of the work done, but she's not there when the world is operating and we need some activity. I mean, she's not gonna comp last week because we had this big welfare case that fucking consumed the world. So she had to be here for that purpose. So now all of a sudden it runs into money as opposed to comp time. So those are my two major issues. The other issue is this whole night meeting thing happened when Guy came on board, and so we gotta meet at night because more people will show up. People don't show up to meetings, they don't come to the selectmen's meeting. When I started 9 years ago or 8 years ago, it was Monday morning, every Monday morning. We've gone to every other Monday, all nights, and I just don't see it's not gonna be workable when we talk to contractors about the police station. It's not workable when we wanna bring somebody in. So we need to consider having at least one a month or one every other month of day meetings, cause we need to have some ability to get the rest of the world involved.
I can commit to one a month. I did that, when I first started as selectman. I did that.
And it doesn't have to be Monday. I mean, if you
No,
guys-
it can't be. If it's during the day, I can't do a Monday, because the
No.
commissioners' meetings have moved to Mondays, and I can't,
Right.
I have to be there.
And, you know, if you have to negotiate a 4-day work week or whatever you gotta do, one day a month is not a lot to ask, and I think it would make our lives a lot easier. Plus, it's easier to, I mean, we're now at 6:15. It's easier to go from 10:15 or 11:15 to 12:15 than it is to go from 6:15 to 7:15. You're not working in the right direction, I don't think. Anyway, we can all talk about that and decide after town meeting how we wanna do it, but that's my recommendation.
And on voting day, you're all there, so you're gonna have your meeting that day.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's traditionally when we decide who talks
I'm
about.
on vacation that week.
I know.
We decide who's talking on what issue, on what
That's
is
what
warrant.
it is.
And we could do it before, but I don't know. What do you wanna do, Bob?
I don't, the order? Didn't we
Yeah.
just,
No, we did the order, but which one
Oh, who's
was-
talking about what?
Which
Oh,
one
we can do,
was?
we're gonna be there all day, we can figure that out.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
We can figure that out on
Generally
Tuesday.
when we do it, and that's fresh in your mind.
Yeah.
We've got the town report, we can write our names next to each warrant that we have.
Yeah.
So possibly, that's on the 11th, so maybe the meeting on the week of the 24th, we could plan a work session meeting.
February 24th?
No, March.
March. Because then you'll know if you're gonna be able to award to engineering firms, how you're gonna go with it, how much money you have for
So,
police.
2 weeks later.
Right,
Is that our next scheduled,
after
selectmen's
town,
meeting?
after
Yes.
town meeting.
meeting?
Yeah.
24th.
We have to wait 2 weeks? Wow.
No, you could do a work
Yeah,
session.
we didn't used to, because it's really unfair. For instance, if someone were running against Bob and there isn't anybody, and they were to get elected, and now they got 2 weeks lag time before they start working, it really was unfair. So we always, or traditionally had a Monday meeting, the Monday after election, cause your term would have run out after the town meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And then the new person would have gotten sworn in by Friday, and then Monday have a meeting, but we're not in that situation this year, so
No.
you can decide whether you wanna have a meeting sooner or later.
And there's all kinds of flavors of how different towns do it. when I lived in Milford, the selectmen met the second and fourth, and it happened to be on a Monday also, but the second and fourth week. And then when there was a 5-week month, it was an open agenda, you know, a work session, kind of open agenda. People could come in with extra topics. So there's all types of ways to structure your meetings.
I like doing it every 2 weeks, period.
Yeah.
That seems to flow better.
Every week is difficult for the office to,
Shut down.
well, yeah, because we, you know, by the time we do AP and payroll and
Yeah.
get ready for the next day's meeting.
Yeah, cause there's issues that we're gonna wanna talk about. I mean, like getting the captain from the fire station in here, I need to talk to him. You don't want your help to have to work overtime all the time. So you
Well,
gotta
do you,
know-
do you think we should have a work session on, say, the 17th? And have a regular selectmen's meeting on the 24th? The 17th is like right after town meetings, the week after. I'm thinking that,
Or,
I'm just,
I mean, it's only the middle of February. We can decide later, but let's say you move the meeting to Friday, cause that's better for everybody. I'm just saying.
good, because I don't wanna meet on Fridays.
Okay, let's say you move the meeting to Thursday.
Mhm.
Give me a break on one day here. Now, yeah, meeting the week after town meeting makes sense, cause you get almost 2 weeks done. But if you're gonna continue, wanna have meetings on Monday, then I'm not certain how much sense it makes to meet. Unless there's some event at town meeting that we need to talk about.
No, not really.
Well, you never know. I mean, Max might get up
Right.
and
Alright. 24th it is? But that's a regular meeting then, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was
that what I
recommending,
mean?
yeah,
Is that what
I
I
was
mean?
recommending you maybe do a work session. And part of it, you could talk about the engineering firms,
right. We need to do
on
that.
voting day, on the
Mm-hmm.
11th.
Yeah, and we can do that without actually going into non-public, cause nobody comes over and talks to us anyway. But yeah, we should put a list together of things we can get done on election.
Yeah, okay, so,
I'm sure there's some.
alright,
Keep us busy.
okay. And then I'm scheduled to be on vacation the 27th through the first week of April. So I would be back
So 2
7th.
weeks,
10 days.
10 days, 10 work days, that's 2
Seven,
weeks.
7 work days,
Yeah.
7 work days.
Hey, September, I'm gonna be gone for 2 full weeks.
Who's gonna go
Nice.
down to Fort where you're not here?
Oh,
Where you
they're
going?
capable.
Scotland.
Nice, any place in particular?
A hike. I'm gonna be hiking for 10 days.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's terrific.
Dave's
So-
over there right now.
That's all I have.
Alright, selectmen's updates. Finish off the business here. We've been meeting regularly, so I don't have anything new to add.
Yeah, the only thing I could add would be the non-public, but I don't wanna add it today, cause I haven't got a resolution on it yet. And it doesn't involve anybody that works here, it's just a non-public about a citizen,
Okay.
so probably when we meet again
The 24th?
on the 24th. Yeah. Yeah, I just need some resolution on how, I mean, this letter is going back and forth. It's a welfare case, and we just need to get some kind of resolution on how we're proceeding.
Dave? I assume you're all set with the, what I wrote for the, annual report?
I haven't read it yet. I'm gonna print everything and read every
Well, it
one.
was due Tuesday, February 4th, so,
Yeah,
I did my end.
yeah, so I only have a couple people to check off yet.
Okay,
Yeah,
alright. It's essentially the same thing that I wrote for the,
mhm,
Talking Borough Times, only I added a little, changed a few things.
And we voted on having Billy be the
Yes.
recipient of the
Yep.
dedication.
Yes.
And have we chosen a cover photograph?
everyone seems, the most, comments I've heard about any of the pictures were, the stone culvert down here that was in the Tucton Borough Times this fall.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe just the stone culvert.
Another picture of Bill?
He'll be
No, he goes
inside.
inside the cover.
Oh, on the cover, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
As long as, when are you gonna put it out for publication? Town report?
Next week I told the printers they would have it.
Okay. So we'll have an opportunity to look at the pictures.
Okay. Any other business?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
So what town in Scotland?